Okay, once more, welcome to this faculty development session. As I said a while ago, we're looking at the eRacer. eRacer is, of course, the learning management system, which is a part of the enterprise resource plan we have on campus. And so we'll have an overview of eRacer. We're going to look at the uses of eRacer from the faculty standpoint. In other words, how does the faculty go about using, what are some of the ways in which faculty make use of eRacer? And what are some of the ways in which students make use of eRacer? We're going to look at how to navigate to your course, something which most of you know. And then we're going to look at about your course, the main page within eRacer. Look at the calendar announcements, the handouts, bookmarks. We're also going to look at the attendance aspect of eRacer, the collaboration, course information, coursework, gradebook, syllabus. And then as far as coursework is concerned, we're going to dwell a lot more on the assignments, the different formats of assignments, how to create assignments, adding content to online tests or quizzes, using the eRacer logged browser, which is a security feature which enhances the authenticity of the online test or quiz, managing and grading assignments, and then the analytics part of the assignments. Then we're going to move on to gradebook, how to configure the gradebook, reviewing and adjusting grades, submitting grades to the ERP system, and then we're going to also look at the file cabinet, and then how to copy course materials from one course to another course. And then we're going to have a brief session on how to create and upload video lessons. Okay. So as I said a while ago, eRacer is simply a learning management system, a platform within which faculty deliver content online, a platform within which faculty interact with their students out of the classroom context and environment, a platform within which students can collaborate with others through chatting. eRacer, or the learning management system, is commonly referred to as JICS, which simply stands for Geneva Internet Campus Solution. Again, as we said during the last session, Geneva is the IT company which provided the campus with the enterprise resource planning. JICS is linked to the ERP, the main database of the institution. In other words, the learning management system, eRacer, is directly linked to Geneva. So whatever we do on eRacer or JICS gets transferred into the main database. So that's why when you enroll students in the courses or you submit the students' grades, in principle, you should be able to submit students' grades through eRacer, and the grades will automatically go over to Geneva. So I just wanted to mention the fact that it is linked. In other instances, as it is with other institutions, you may find yourself in a situation where you're using a learning management system which is not linked to the enterprise resource application. And so you're going to have to be moving back and forth. In the case of eRacer or JICS, it is linked to Geneva. And one of the importance of, yes?
I'm sorry, so the platform collaboration, is that referring to being able to calibrate or change, modify how the grade is weighted?
No. Collaboration is for discussions or chatting. So there's a chatting feature within eRacer. If students are working, we'll be getting to that. If students are working on a project and you want to be able to follow up the conversations and interactions with regards to the project.
Okay.
So instead of having the maybe chat on WhatsApp, you could mandate that they come and chat in here.
And that's like where you email them to, right?
Yes.
Is that the same platform?
Yes.
Okay.
You can also email the students directly from eRacer.
Right.
Okay. Students in the class. And you also can, there's also the discussion forum within the collaboration platform.
Okay, gotcha.
So I was saying that one of the importance of having a learning management system of what really is to ensure that in case of an emergency or in case of, say, some minor disaster or poor weather condition, we cannot make it to the campus. Classes shouldn't stop. So it's more like one of the ways of implementing a business continuity plan. If there was, say, an ice storm, of course, it rarely happens here. I'm just giving that as a scenario. And students are unable to make it to class, or you are unable to make it to the campus. You can simply direct the students to the learning management system to do either assignments or quizzes or read some material. Now, it is true that naturally we kind of resist change. We are kind of in a comfort zone. We do things the way we've always been doing. The very first time I had to use this, it took me a while to actually bring myself to terms with having to change my way of doing. And so what I'm trying to say is you're going to have to, if you first started using it, you're going to have to push yourself or give yourself a bit of a nudge to get started. And when it comes to building your content or having your content online, during the initial phase, it looks like it's a lot of work. But once you've done that, I bet you're going to like it. So when it comes to using eRacer, the issue is going from
you just put on unblocking the function key and the key combination to
a blank course shell, such as this right here. There's no course content, no handouts, no bookmarks, no coursework. How do you go from here to something like this? And so that's what we're doing today. Ensuring that there's content within the coursework, the handouts, assignments, and then of course the gradebook setup right here. And we're also going to talk about data analytics. Okay, let's proceed.
I have one question. Can we change this color? Sometimes you can't even see it. It is gold color.
Yeah.
Okay.
Terrible.
I think we should go to the black and
They're
white.
talking about the background color eraser. The contrast is not very much, so it's kind of blurry. That's the guy.
That's gold. We can't even see it. I have to go like this.
Bishop told me he couldn't change it. He said he sent out an email asking us what color we wanted.
That red was good.
Nobody responded.
If we can go back to the
Never
previous
He
color.
never said
So I couldn't
that.
see.
Yeah, he told me that
He never
if
said
it was fun, everybody liked it, because I told him it was something on my eye.
I
He never said
Change it to something.
You said you liked the color.
Say,
No, I didn't like. I said they said they will change.
Okay.
He told me.
Well, they're hopefully going to take care of that. And so what are some of the ways in which faculty can make use of eraser? Track attendance, post a list of readings, distribute handouts and post useful links, send email to the entire course or a selected group of students, start, participate in and monitor discussions in forums and chat rooms, create tests for students to complete online, track assignments that are completed outside the portal. If you give an assignment which should be done, say, at home, manually, and we want students to go to upload that onto the portal so you can track that. Enter scores for other criteria such as participation or bonus assignments. Configure the system to generate students' grades for individual assignments and for the entire term or semester. Review students' midterm and final grades and submit them to the college's ERP system. So those are some of the ways in which the faculty can make use of the learning management system eRacer. Now, from the student standpoint, A student can use eRacer to complete online tests and upload files, participate in forums, discussion forums or chat forums, review the attendance records, especially if attendance is if the attendance is included in the grade. Review their grades for both individual assignments and for the term. Because once you have everything set up in the gradebook, a student ought to go to see where they stand at any point in time. So they shouldn't come to you asking what's my grade or how am I grade, because it's all there. Students should be able to download, or students can download handouts. So once you've uploaded handouts to eRacer, the students can always download those handouts, communicate with other students via chat rooms and email. So in case you give students group projects and you want people to monitor how they are working collectively on the project, you can require for them to have their conversations on within the chat room in eRacer. Because sometimes you put people in a group and they find themselves in situations where students are like, this one didn't do anything, this one did not participate. So in order for you to validate or verify what they are saying, you require for them to have all of their communications within the chat room in eRacer. Navigating to a course, we all know how to do that. You have to log on to the TC web portal, and then once you log into the TC web portal, there are 3 pages or 3 sections: the left section, the middle section, and of course the right section. You want to scroll somewhere down onto the left navigation pane on the left section, and look for the link labeled My Courses, expand it, and then of course click on your course. So let's go ahead and pull up the course. So to pull up a course in the future semester, say for the upcoming semester, once you log into the TC web portal, click on faculty, and then scroll down to where it says My eRacer Courses. Click on the drop-down arrow and select future courses. And then you can click on any of those courses. So what you have right there, it's a blank course shell. There's nothing, no information. And, we'll go through the different steps of ensuring that there's content in the course shell. That way you're able to go from something such as this to something which looks like this. About course, handouts, bookmarks, coursework, gradebook. So let me get back to the other course. So once you log into the course, I want to use a blank shell. So as I said a while ago, there are 3 sections within the course homepage. The left section or left pane, which has links to areas such as the attendance, collaboration, course information, coursework, gradebook, syllabus. And then the middle section about this course. And then to the right-hand side or right pane is the calendar, announcements, handouts, and bookmarks. For the most part, this is where you start your course design, or that's where you start inputting content. And usually it's based on what you have on the syllabus. In the about this course section, you always start with the greeting to the students. Hello, my name is so and so, I'm your instructor. Let me pull up what we have, or what I have here. So you want to have something like this, where you're introducing yourself to the students, and then give them a synopsis of what may be required of them for the course. And then after this, you may want to insert something like a course description. That's why if you keep it with the syllabus, you have that there. So let's assume that I have to place this information in a blank course shell. So I'll go to this right here. You want to click on create content. Of course, you want to make sure that you have the content handy. So I'll go ahead and pull up something which I already created. Greetings. So you want to have this prepared, and then come back to the course shell, click on create content. And then, of course, there's the text box which enables you to type the content. And so, since I have it prepared, I'll simply just go ahead and just copy and paste. In your greeting or introduction, you may want to use different color shades just to emphasize certain aspects within the message. Again, just something to introduce yourself to the students and to let them know some of the resources they're going to need to succeed in the course. And then you may also want to add the course description, your contact information, say email or phone number. Now, if you want to do a bit more, you can create a video in which you're presenting yourself to the students and you're showing them how to go about navigating the course, like what I have in this other. So if you have the video, you're going to post the link somewhere here. And then once you're done with this area, go ahead and save and get back to the course. So once the students come in, they're going to see that grading. As I said a while ago, you also want to go ahead and prepare a video in which you introduce yourself to the students and demonstrate to them how to navigate the course page. So let me show you guys an example of that. So in this other course, it says click the link below to start the course expectations. So that's a video I prepared and posted on YouTube, and simply place the link within the course. So if any student comes in there at any point in time, they can watch that, have an idea of how to go about navigating the course portal. So let's get back to the course we're working on. So once you've put in place the grading, the course description, what you want to do is go ahead and lay out the weekly course schedule. And you're going to have to pull that from the syllabus. Okay. So I'll go ahead and pull up the syllabus I prepared for this course. So within your syllabus, there should be something like a weekly course schedule, which kind of displays to the students what is being covered either every week or bi-weekly. And you want to be able to replicate this content here within the above discourse section of the web page. So if you look at this syllabus, it has week 1, week 2, unit 1, week 2, sorry, actually it should be week 1, unit 1, week 2, unit 2. We have the topics, the objectives. So what you want to do is make sure that this content within the syllabus is also replicated here. So to do that, you go to edit content, and you do add new element. It's like you're adding a new section, which is different from the greeting. So add new element, and then I'll type the unit 1. Of course, instead of typing, I may as well just go over here, copy and paste. Unit 1, digital literacy. Paste. And then right here is the window where I kind of introduce the unit and put it, state the objective of the unit. So within the syllabus, all I have is just the objectives. In principle, you should be able to come up with the introduction to the unit, and then of course state the objectives. And that will go in here. I'll just go ahead and copy these objectives.
And you just to top,
Yes.
you just add the objectives to the element?
Yes, you create a new element for every section.
Okay.
I think for every unit. Now, within your learning management system, they refer to chapters or sections as units. So a unit could be a chapter, or it could be several chapters. It all depends on how you prepare your lesson. Yes, sir.
I have a question with how to upload the syllabus. I will start with this new system.
We're going to get there shortly. Actually, you're right. I think we should have done that first, but we're going to get there. So, once you've introduced or type the content which introduces the unit or chapter or lesson, you want to go ahead and copy the objectives, come back to this window and paste. And then after the objectives, again, this is up to you. You may want to emphasize on what the students really need to complete, say like the discussions or the assignments or the test and the quizzes. So I'll show you guys an example of it. I will save that. I will save this. So if we go to this other course, which was properly developed. So you see right here, that's unit 1. That is the introduction to the unit. These are the objectives. And then this, a statement which kind of emphasizes on what the student needs to do in order to successfully complete the unit. And then there are tasks which the students need to do, complete discussion 1A, discussion 1B, quiz 1, assignment 1, test 1. Of course, explanations as to how to navigate all of this was given in the video which is posted somewhere up here. Actually, I should have come and taken this. So let me take this and go back to the other course, to the blank course. So I want to edit this unit. You go to edit content and then select this element. Now I can post my introduction or paste my introduction right there. And then, as I said a while ago, you may want to add to that what the students are required to do, such as the assignments or the tests and the quizzes. Every time you're done posting content within the About Course section, you want to hit on the Save button and then scroll down to Exit Edit Mode. So once you do that for the first unit, you simply repeat the process for subsequent units, depending on how many units you have or chapters. Again, as I said, in eRacer, they refer to sections as units. Yes, ma'am.
So, just say I have 5 chapters in the first unit. What you're saying is, just within all of those chapters, I just make my own course description and as one of all implement instead of one by one.
Well, you can have multiple. You can have multiple sections within the unit.
Okay.
So you can say unit 1.1,
Okay.
unit 1.2, 1.3, and then give a description for each of those sections. So if you look at the unit here, it's all about digital literacy. And if we go back to this other course here, there's a statement which says, in order to, let me take this. Edit content, go to unit 1, and right here, so if I were to paste that, it says, in order to successfully complete this unit, it is recommended that you go over the Unit 1 PowerPoint found under handouts and watch the Unit 1 video lessons found under bookmarks. So that will take us to the next aspect of building this particular lesson, that of posting handouts or PowerPoints, any resources which you think may be helpful to the students. When it comes to resources, you upload the resources either under handouts or under bookmarks. That's the right-hand side of the course page. Now, any resource which is maybe, say, saved within your computer, say PowerPoint, PDF file, document, you upload those under handouts.
I'm sorry. Okay, so if I have my PowerPoints already complete, but they're in a zip file, and whenever I try to upload them, nothing came up. So somehow I have to put them in one by one.
Correct. Because actually you can upload a zip file. You should be able to upload a zip file. But the issue with the zip file is once the student downloads the files within the zip, they're going to be confronted with multiple files.
Right.
And so it will be a bit challenging for the students to follow the instructions as to what to do with each of those files.
I just have to figure out.
Yeah, one after the other with specific instructions on what to do with each of the files. Yes, one question.
Before they updated, you used to be see the menu were on the left side handout. You want to put it at least my video in the bookmark and all that. But this far I couldn't find this.
I'm going to show you how to import content from previous course.
Yeah. See, there's just that the menu was hard. I click on, I couldn't even find the handout. It's part of it.
Yeah.
The logo, so I can click on the handout.
Correct. I'm going to show you guys how to import content from the previous course into the new question.
Yeah, see, when they uploaded, the whole thing changed.
It's true. I myself had a challenge to figure out the stuff. Yeah. That's true. So I'll show you guys how to import content from the previous course into a new course. How many bushes? So what?
Bob Malik.
Okay, what Dr. Malik is saying is that he had uploaded content in the course in the previous semester, and when he got to this semester with the upgrade in eRacer, he couldn't retrieve his material. With eRacer, you have the possibility of using content which you have used previously. So if you build your course, in other words, you please upload content within a course, say this semester, and next semester you're teaching the same course, instead of having to start from scratch, you can import the content from this semester into next semester. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So instead of, I'm going to show you guys how to add one handout and how to add one bookmark, and then how to upload the syllabus. And then after that, I'll just go ahead and import content from a similar course into a new course. Okay. So I'm going to upload a PowerPoint which is related to this topic, Unit 1, digital literacy. And then I'm also going to put in place a bookmark, which is a YouTube video lesson or web content. So anything, any resource which is web-based, you place that under the bookmark. Any resource which is web-based, a video lesson, content which you have to read by accessing a web page or a website, you place that under the bookmark resource, the bookmark section. But any artifact which is on your computer, say a PowerPoint, PDF file, Word document, Excel file, which as long as it's on your computer, you're able to move it around, you place that under handouts.
Can you do it again? So say it
So
again.
videos or bookmarks, handouts, or up above.
When it comes to the resources we make available to students, sometimes there are resources which we kind of have handy. They're on our computers, documents, files, PDF, Excel, Word, PowerPoint. You upload those under the handout section. Now, any resource or content which the students have to access over the internet, any web-based resource, the resource which you have to go to the internet and type a website address, you place that under the bookmarks. So for this scenario, I'm going to upload a PowerPoint, and then I'm also going to upload a link which they can use to go online and access web content and watch video lessons under bookmarks. Okay. So what we want to make sure that is you have all of your resources ready in a folder somewhere. That way, when you're here and you're about to upload, you don't have to go digging all over the place. So I'll go ahead and pull up. I have the PowerPoint. Okay. That's my PowerPoint. That's a handout. That's another PowerPoint. Then this is these are the links. Okay. So I'll go to add handout. Okay. Within your handout, you want to have different sets depending on the types of handouts you have. So if I have PowerPoints and I have readings which are in PDF format, and we want to have a set for PowerPoints, another set for the readings, and another set for maybe data files or sample files. Okay, so I'm going to add a set. Click on Add Set, and then you give it the set a name. I'll put this. I'll name this PowerPoint. PowerPoints. So all my PowerPoints in this course will be listed under this set. Of course, you can save or save and add another. So let's assume that we're going to deal with two sets. So I'll save and add another. I'm just going to call this data files. Save. If I go back to the course, of course, you don't see the set we created. That's because there's nothing which has been listed under any of the sets. So once we go in here to add a handout, we'll be prompted to select one of the sets we created. Now, when it comes to uploading handouts, you have the option of uploading it through the Moxie Manager or from my computer. This right here is simply a feature to protect your private system from viruses. But now, if you're sure of yourself, you can go directly from your computer. So when you click from my computer, the option to choose a file pops up.
Bookmarks? Is that correct?
Yes.
Okay.
So that's the PowerPoint I want to upload. And then under the sets, change it to select the set, the corresponding set. Since it's the PowerPoint, I'll select the PowerPoint set. You may want to put a description. This is the PowerPoint for chapter 1, but that's optional. and then the display, you can decide when the student can start viewing his files and when the display should end. Sometimes you give assignments and refer the students to a handout. Now, some students will wait after the due date, and if the handout is still out there, they will go and download it and do the assignment and come, oh, I have completed my assignment, I just didn't get a chance to upload it. If you want to ensure that they don't play that game with you, you may come here and turn it off. Okay? But we're just going to leave. So you want to have the file displayed now, display later, or display on a particular date. You select the date. And then when you want to ensure that students no longer have access to the file, you can come here and end the display. So I'll go ahead and save.
So once you click on what you want, you save it.
Yes. So once you save it, it's right there. PowerPoint. That's the link. So when the student come, they have the PowerPoint. Actually, there should have been a label stating that you need one PowerPoint. So let me go back and modify this. You want to go to edit. So you want to right here, you want to type unit 1. Or simply unit 1, it really doesn't matter. And then save. So once the student comes in here and reads this, which says, in order to successfully complete this unit, it is recommended that you go over the unit 1 PowerPoint found under handouts. So when you come to handouts, that's the unit 1 PowerPoint. Okay. It also talks of and watch the unit 1 video lessons found under bookmarks. So I'll now go ahead and add a video lesson. So again, as I said a while ago, you want to make sure that you have the link to your video lesson. So this is the link I'm going to use for the web-based content and the video lesson. So I'll copy, go back to the course page. So we have to start by adding a set. You can do that within this page, but let me go back. So you want to add a set. You can say unit 1 videos or video, depending on how many you have, but let's leave it as video. Again, you can put a description, that's optional. Save. And then I'll add a bookmark. What is this? I think that it's introduction. No. I'm looking for the topic. Basic parts of a computer. Copy, go back here. That goes here. And then you go back and copy the link for copy and this is where you paste the link. You take this out completely and then paste what you have. And then select the set, unit 1. Again, you can change the display options. Save. So even though it says basic parts of the desktop, the hyperlink is embedded in that. So when the students come in and they read here, understand that they need to go over the unit 1, watch the unit 1 videos, found other bookmarks. They simply come here. That's unit 1 video. Click on this, and it takes them to another web page.
That's what I want to see.
Yeah, that's it. They can read that and watch the video lesson.
Okay. And that's in under bookmarks.
Yeah, bookmarks. Bookmarks. Okay. Sometimes you may want to set it up in such a way that when the student navigate to the new web page, the web page for the course is not closed. So you come here and check new window right here. So right now it says same window. If it is in the same window, let me show you guys what happens. Once students click on this link, the course page, they are carried from the course page to this website. Now, if a student does not realize that to return to the course web page, they need to click on the back arrow. Where is it? Right here. So if they are not aware of the fact that to return to the course web page, you need to click on the back arrow and just go ahead and close. When they close the web page, they will be kicked out. They'll have to come back and re-log in. So you want to make sure that when you put in the URL of the website, change this to new window.
Does it default that?
Yes, it defaults to new window. And then we save. That way, when they are here, once they click on the link, the new window opens. The class page is still there. If they close this, they don't have to go through. They will not be required to go through the process of relogging into the class page. Yes, sir.
Could you play the video that came to that? I want to see how it works.
So
Who never uses it at all.
they will simply click on the link.
Okay, go ahead. I got that.
That's it. Now, this particular page has a content and a video lesson.
Okay, go ahead. Click that. That's one I want to see.
And they can. I turned off the sound because I didn't want it to get into the recording.
But that it was sound. They would have sound with it.
The sound is there. Let me turn it.
I've never used this. There we go.
Let me.
To smartphones, they're changing the way that we live our lives.
That'll work.
But have you ever asked yourself, what exactly is a
Good.
computer?
Thank you.
A computer.
Never used that. Thank you.
So at this stage, all you need to do is repeat the process of adding handouts or bookmarks, depending on the type of handouts you have and the number of handouts you have. You can always go in and make some edits. If you made a mistake and you want to take a set completely out, simply delete the set. If I were to click this, all of this will disappear. If I were to click this, this will go.
If you want to use two different videos, you have to
Two separate things.
say a new window, right? For the second one. On that one.
Both. New window on both.
New window.
Or on one window, can you put two different videos?
No. You will not take more than one link.
One window.
Just one link per.
Then if you new window, then you can put it.
Yes.
Okay.
But you could change your set. You could have different sets.
Yes, that much.
Like I could have sets on punctuation and sets on
Correct.
writing
Correct.
kids or whatever. Yeah. And they could do sets on one chapter and sets on another chapter.
I've never used.
Good.
Okay.
I never found computers.
So once you have your handouts in place, the bookmarks in place, every now and then if you want to post an announcement for the class, you simply use the announcement feature right here. So you click on an announcement. If you, in case you have an announcement for the students, you go to manage, new assignment, new announcement, and then of course the title of the announcement. Test next week or make sure you work in your groups, whatever it is. And then of course you just say test. So you can have all users, meaning students and faculty, or just faculty. That's simply because in some cases you have more than one faculty to refer. That's why they put that in there. Okay? Or you may just be interested in sending the message, the announcement to just the students. So we will be having tests 1 next week. I mean, this is kind of vague, but it's just something. Or assignments that you display now, display that. This is where you decide on when the announcement should be made available to the students. And once the announcement is passed, it's no longer needed, you can come here and archive it. So if you save that, when students log in, they should see the announcement. I cannot see because I didn't select faculty, the faculty option. If I selected the faculty option, I would see the announcement here.
And it's just shown there, it's not like it sends an email.
No, it just displayed there.
Right, I was afraid to use it last time, because I thought, is it sending an email?
Yeah, the shortcoming with this is that if students do not come here, you don't get to see it. As opposed to the email where it will be done to the email. Okay. Once we get to create assignments, I'm going to show you guys how to ensure that the assignments are displayed on the calendar. By default, your class sessions are displayed on the calendar, but you can also ensure that the assignments and quizzes for the class are displayed on the calendar. Once we get to that section, I'll show you guys how to do it. So that's calendar announcement. Another thing which of course you're required to upload is the syllabus. So to upload your syllabus, again, you want to know exactly where the file is stored or saved. So you go to syllabus right here. Now when it comes, let me pull up a new course.
The syllabus didn't work last time.
Let me pull up a new future. So if I pull that up, okay. So this is a blank course here. You go to syllabus. And when it comes to syllabus, there are two options. You have the downloadable version, which is the option where you upload the file and then the students will download it. And you have the web-based version, which of course is a situation where you post the content of the syllabus on the web page. So I'm going to show you guys both. So let's start with the web-based version. Essentially, what you do is copy the content of the syllabus and paste it within this window. So you want to make sure that the syllabus is open. This is my syllabus. So you want to copy everything. Control A will select all of that for you. Right click, copy, and then go to the core syllabus. You click on create content. Give it a name, simply type syllabus again. And then click within here and paste.
Right.
It's going to prompt you to either remove formatting or keep. I prefer keeping my formatting. Okay. With this, once they come in, they will put the information on this page, and then you go down and save. So this is the web-based version of the syllabus.
But if you have yours saved something in your file, you'll be able to use this one.
Sorry?
Let's say if I save my syllabus in one of my files,
yes,
then I can do this one.
Yes, you should open up the syllabus, copy and paste this one.
Okay.
So this is the web-based version. Now you can also have the downloadable version. So you go back to this syllabus link. Why is it not giving me that option?
We don't have to use it. I'm out.
You have to put it in the handouts.
No, it's not on the handouts.
It's
Well, and
it's just down below. Go on down. Way down. There it is.
Okay,
right, then
thank
you
you,
have to
thank
add
you, thank
that
you.
on those.
Thank
Yeah,
you.
that's fine.
So yeah, so this is the downloadable version. Click add handout.
Yeah.
And then again, you type syllabus. Choose file from my computer. Choose file. And then select the course syllabus, open, and simply save.
Add set or it's ungrouped.
Sorry?
You didn't add the set first, so it showed up as that ungrouped down below.
Forward.
Yeah, I didn't create a separate set.
Right, yeah.
Yeah.
You could do a set that says
Downloadable.
download.
So this gives the students the option to either read the syllabus within the course page or download it.
And you could change the order so the downloadable would come above the. Did I do
Yeah,
that?
within. Let me see.
So that the students would see the downloadable first. Can we rearrange?
I haven't done that
Okay.
before.
Close. I think you can.
What's that?
Just
Wanna
asking if
put
you
the
can change the
downloadable
order so that the
first.
students see the downloadable version first before the web content. I've not played with that before. So
Okay. I bet you can on the plate. Gotta be a way.
or something like
That's what I use.
syllabus. This is what I was looking for. It should be able to see the web-based here and then the downloadable to the right. So they can either read it, the content within the course page, or if they prefer, download it and just save it onto their devices, either laptop or desktop. What do we have in next? Okay.
You can't, yes, you can rearrange with that little wrench,
Okay.
and then you just drag the downloadable section up above the other, and drop it and save it.
Okay. I hope that we all had the syllabus for our courses, so we can actually go through this. So Dr. Malik, are you now?
Yeah, I know.
Okay.
I just don't know why the update usually is supposed to make it better. You know, when they update it, they make it complicated. It used to be so simple.
Yes.
What happens? Used to see syllabus was separate. There's no syllabus in one year, you know, and that in 1 year. But I guess.
Okay.
Do most instructors put the text as far as the syllabus in there, or attach it, or should you just do both?
I mean, You can do both. Again, as I said, you want to give students the possibility of downloading the syllabus and having it somewhere.
Because this semester, I just attached it, as under syllabus as a handout.
Yeah.
But I didn't do the text.
Oh, you mean this right here?
Yeah.
Okay. I see what you mean.
Yeah, I just done the one way, like every course I put the syllabus under the handout for syllabus.
Right here.
Mm-hmm.
That it's simply because sometimes students may not know that they can go ahead and download it.
Yeah.
You want to maximize all the options out there.
Okay.
Once they land here, they should go to read it, and those who are able to download should also be able to download it.
I'll do that.
When you have a minute, could you go back to the greeting section? I was asked you something on the
Sure.
putting a video in for the greetings. I understand. I've never did greetings. I just follow.
Just a greeting?
Yeah, okay, so how do you do the video for that? Where do you put it? You have to how do you do that? How do you put a video there?
Okay.
And a greeting.
First of all, you have to create the video lesson. We're going to do that at the end.
Okay.
You have to.
Okay.
Once you create the video lesson, you publish it on YouTube. You publish the video.
Well, they taught us that once last semester. Yeah, how to do
because,
that.
I mean, except if you have money to buy a server to host your videos, fine. But if you don't have money to get a server to host and publish your videos, then you use a free platform such as YouTube.
So could you use your cell phone and pull the data off your cell phone and put it in there?
Yeah, you can take it. Yeah, you can take it. Record a video using your cell phone.
Right.
And then download the video onto your PC.
Okay.
Upload it to YouTube. Once you upload it to YouTube, you get a link.
You can't watch that YouTube.
And you see.
Oh, you can.
Well, I'm using YouTube because that's one of the platforms which is relatively free and available. You can use other platforms. There are platforms which should be required to pay a fee.
Right.
Yeah. If you get any platform which can host web pages or videos, any will do. And once you upload it, you now get the link for the video, and then come in here and insert it. Okay, let me take this. Let me go in. So what you do is, let's assume that you have your video created already. But as I said, we'll be demonstrating how to do it at the end of the day, or sometime in the afternoon. But let's assume that you have your video created. You come to edit content. See, this is a simple text. So you simply type this out. Start here, course expectations and navigation. So you type it out. And then, sorry, I should be in edit mode. So once you type the content, you highlight it. See right here, this says insert edit link.
Right.
So once you click on that, a window pops up, prompting you to insert the link for the video lesson.
Oh,
then you insert that link and then save.
That's the link for your video now.
Yes.
Insert the link for video. And then save it. Got it.
And then hit OK.
Yeah. What is that? Insert link. Yeah.
Once you hit OK and save, anybody who clicks on that link will be carried to the video lesson.
It's okay. It's an icon. That'll bring it in.
How are people behind there doing? I don't get any noise or. But Dr. McDonald, I'm fine. You sure you're fine? Okay.
You don't have a video on your phone.
No. Sorry.
Go on.
How do I get on YouTube? For YouTube? but it's free. I like the idea of talking to them, but I don't know how to create that. I mean, my wife has done it for me. No. When my wife does a business thing, she had me draw the calendars and then she sent it to everybody. And you have me talking and going on.
Yeah.
So let's see, okay.
Yeah.
Okay, it's a great.
Yeah. Always have a good parent, bad parent. Me too. Yeah.
So you could actually create a time.
If you got edit content, it should be able to type reading. You have to create an account that you create that email and yes.
An email account. Okay. All right. Okay.
If you want it to say syllabus, you add SAS and call it syllabus. Yeah, that's what he syllabus, yeah.
I know that.
You could put a little note there, but you don't have to put anything. Then just make the set, and then after you make the set, you go back and add the handout.
The syllabus, click on that dot.
Yeah, and it will come right up. So you call the syllabus.
So at this stage, let's assume that we've created the first lesson, the first unit. We have got the introduction to the unit. Actually, not this. Let me go to the other course. Right here, my course is this guy right here. So we got the introduction to the unit. We uploaded the resources, the PowerPoint, and the video lesson. As part of the lesson, students are required to not just read the resources or the PowerPoint or watch the video lessons, they're also required to complete assignments, a quiz, a test, some written assignment. So when it comes to assignments, you create those within the coursework page. Okay? Coursework, of course, is found on the left-hand side or left pane of the course homepage. So to create the assignments for Unit 1 or for Chapter 1, however you call it, we're going to go to the coursework page. So what we're trying to do is have something like this. So you see for Unit 1 in this course, it says a task to be completed, discussion 1A, 1B, quiz 1, assignment 1, and test 1. So if in your course you require for students to do some form of discussion, that will be created in the collaboration menu. But we're not going to do the discussion. We're just going to do an assignment and a quiz. The quizzes and the tests are computer-based. In other words, those are graded by the system. Whereas the assignment, you actually go in and do the grade. Okay. So let's get back to the course we are designing. So to create any form of assessment, say, yes, sir.
I'm sorry. I'm saying about the lectures. I put my lectures in handout, but not in coursework. I do my exams in coursework.
Yeah, that's what I said.
I know what you're saying, but I'm asking about the lectures. Nobody asked you about how import that into the next section.
Yes.
We're not there yet.
No, not yet.
Oh, okay.
Not yet.
I'm sorry.
It's okay. I want us to kind of have one complete unit. So a unit with the lesson and then the assignments, and then we look at some of that.
Okay.
And so I want us to wrap up with unit 1.
I'm with you.
Like a complete lesson. Okay. So if you want to create, say, an assignment and a test, again, you want to make sure that you have the assignments ready and the test also ready. So on the left-hand side or the left pane or left section, you click on coursework. No, let me use a blank one. Let me use a new. Sure. So I'll go to future courses. I'll select 1330. So go to coursework, and it's blank. There's nothing in it. When it comes to your coursework, what you want to do is arrange your coursework based on the units you have within the about this course. Okay, so if say within the about this course, you have unit 1, unit 2, unit 6, 6 or 7 units. You want to replicate those units within the coursework. That way, you preserve students from getting confused as to where they are and what they are doing. So you don't want to give them you don't want to give them ammunition to blame you for anything whatsoever. Yes, sir.
Okay. Like right here. Now, all that you right here, so what did you click to get? Okay. Okay, sir. Okay. All right. Thank you.
So once you get to the coursework section, sorry, I'm having to navigate between different course charts. Future, so section 1. Okay. Click on coursework.
Right.
By default, there's 1 unit. You want to go to manage units and types. That's a feature which enables to add additional units, to put into create additional units. So you go to manage units and type. See where it says add a unit. Click add a unit. Since you already have unit 1, let's assume that you have, say, 6 units. You go to unit 2. And sometimes you may want to add the unit titles. Unit 2.
When you put that in the name,
Go to the top.
is that under name?
We'll go to the name.
Oh, sorry, I should be in name. Thank you. Right here. Unit 2. Unit 1 was what? Introduction to technology. Unit 2 would be, let's just say, I'm just making this up. Okay. You may want to put an introduction to the unit, but it's more like a repetition because we had that in the course description. Date range. You may decide that you want this accessible available to the students during a specific time. Otherwise, you just leave it blank. It will be available to the students for the entire semester. And then you add unit. So that's unit 1, unit 2. Unit 3. And again, you add the title. I don't have any title.
I ran into a problem.
So once you have, that's why it's important that you have your syllabus. Let me go in and take my unit titles. That's safety and security. Unit 3 will be creating and formatting a Word document with pictures. Copy, paste. Unit 4. Go back to my syllabus. I'll stop at 4, but you can add as many units as there are in your syllabus. And then back to main screen. Now, if for some reason you have 1 unit placed in the wrong position, you can use the unit ordering feature to make sure that the units are in the order you prefer. And And then of course you want to edit the ranges.
Yeah, I have a question about this. You know, when I put my unit, let's say I want to 12.
Yes.
Then past 10, it will mix it up.
Yeah, that's because the computer counts 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10.
Yeah.
10 is 1, 0. When you go to 1, 2, it will place it after 2.
Between them.
Yes. Yeah. So that's why you come in and use the unit ordering feature. If you click on this, it gives you the ability to manually carry. You do manually.
Yeah. That's
And then you can grab it. You can grab this and place it wherever you want to.
Okay. Yeah. That's what I have to do.
So like now it says, so if I want this to come down here, and then done reordering. Yeah. So go back to the screen. So we have our units created. You want to start adding assignments. Click to view. You want to have assignments within unit 1. So you click on add an assignment. When it comes to assignments within eRacer, there are 3 formats of assignments, at least as of now. There is the online test format, that's for computer-based tests and quizzes. In other words, it's an exam which is either completely or partially graded by the computer.
Before you go, why are we adding units again? I'm confused. I know about the assignments, that's what I use.
Okay.
But why are we adding units? Something I missed. Okay, why are we adding units?
That is because within the syllabus, we have different units. And this is replicated or laid out in the about this course section. Right here. Then let's go to, so if you go to,
but we have to put it there.
You're trying to do as much as you can to ensure that students don't blame you for any form of confusion whatsoever.
They can.
It enhances the students' learning process. Once they see unit 1 here, and then go to coursework and see unit 1, it makes things a bit more.
But if you have it in at the handouts, so say unit 1 is the Constitution.
Correct.
Why are we putting it somewhere else? That's my question. I don't understand.
Okay, when we go to the when coursework
handouts, I just put everything on handouts.
Yeah.
Okay.
So if you come to coursework, where you want to create assignments for that unit, the assignments, so the quizzes, the homework, the tests.
Okay, I got you.
For your classes are within coursework section.
Okay.
So when you go to coursework, to enable the students to relate to the assignments you're having to create, that you kind of put in place the unit titles.
Okay.
So we are within coursework. We've created our units and want to be able to create different assignments. So for unit 1, click on view, and then you have the option to add assignments. You can click either on this link or this, whichever you click will take you to the next window. Now, as I was saying a while ago, when it comes to assignments within eRacer, there are 3 formats. There is the online test format, there's the file upload, and then there is the basic. Online test refers to assignments which are either completely or partially graded by the computer. And then, of course, the file upload, students will have to upload the file, a document for you to download and grade. And basic, you simply go in and input the grades. In other words, maybe you do a test in class, collect the test scripts, you grade those manually, and then come in and input the grades. Right? We're going to start with the file upload format first, and then I'm going to go back to the online test format. Okay. So file upload, again, you select the format. So we're going to start with the file upload. Click on that format. You give the name for the assignment. Assignment 1, assignment 2. You want to give the title. again, just so that it makes it easier for you and the students to communicate or to understand what is happening. So since it's unit 1, it will most likely be assignment 1 in my case. So I'll put assignment 1.
Do you do the same thing with the students during orientation for them?
Okay, I'm laughing because I didn't well. Yeah, what she's saying is students should also be there should be a demonstration well, for students to understand how to go about using this. Yeah, that's something which you guys should take up in academic affairs. So again, assignment 1 of course falls within unit 1. Of course, it's required.
Right.
Sometimes you may do create an assignment as an extra credit, and may be optional. Right? So that's why you go for the type. So there's a name, the unit, the type, and then the due dates. You put in the due date, in other words, the time, the date, of course, when the students must submit the assignment. Of course, it's got to be a future date, not based on the previous date. And the time. So just put in the due date, simply click on the icon for the calendar and select. So today is the 8th. Let's assume that the assignment is due on the 17th. You don't want to go ahead and change the time. Now, right here, show this due date in the course calendar. If you check this, and it's advisable for you to check this, once the students log into the course portal, they see that displayed there. Okay? In some instances, you may want to give students a leeway to submit assignments late, either for a penalty, with a penalty or without a penalty. You go ahead and check this, accept late submissions. So once you click on this, you have the option to penalize students for late submission, if you prefer, or if you opt to. So you go ahead and put it either in percentage form or in point form. So you could decide to have 1% per day late, or you could do it in point form, change it to points, 2 points. So what the system will do is it will calculate the number of days between the due date and the date within which the assignments can still be accepted. So let's say the due date is the 17th, and you want to give the students a 5-day window. That will be what, the 22nd or 21st? 1, 2, 3, 4. Yeah, 22nd. And you have 2 points per day. I'm just taking an example. If you want the students to see the assignment immediately, you should click on now. If you want the students to see the assignment at a later date, select that and choose the date. And the writer, of course, is the grades. The points the points allocated for the assignment, 20, 50, or 100. That's I'm going to do 20. So if I say 2 points per day late and the assignment is due on the 17th, and the student submits the assignment, say, on the 22nd, that's 5 days. Even if the student earned all 20 points, their final grade will be 10 points. So it will not be up to you to do the deduction. You simply do the grading as you normally do it, input the scores, but the system will go ahead and recalculate the grade based on this penalty you put in place.
So if it's extra credit.
If it is extra credit, it will not impact the student's grade.
Okay.
If they didn't do it.
Okay.
Share grade as soon as available or at a later time. And then the uploaded assignment options. Here you determine the number of files. Sometimes you may give students an assignment which require for them to upload more than 1 file. This is where you come and specify that. Number of files required to complete this assignment, maximum number of files to accept from each student. You can play with this again. You really are not required to kind of be bothered or worried about this, because I don't think there's we're going to encounter a situation where the server space is used up. And of course, I don't think students will come here uploading more than 1 or 2 files or up to 10 files. But if you are dealing with a situation where a student could upload more than 1 file, you want to place a limit here. Right here, description of the assignment, and then write the instructions. Okay, this assignment is based on Unit 1. In order to successfully complete the assignment, read Chapter 1, review the video lesson that's here, and then here instructions, complete the questions below. So I'm going to put an assignment here. What is it? Assignment 1. So I have my instructions already right here. I'll say answer the questions below as indicated. Answer the questions below as indicated. Upload. Usually I'll precise that your answer should be typed in a Word document. Your responses should be typed in a Word document. And then of course I'll post my questions right there. Question 1. Question 2. And then of course, once you're done with setting up the assignment, you go ahead and save. Now, if the assignment requires for the students to use the file or some additional information, you can add the file here, as long as you indicate within this window that the student should download the attached file and use it for the assignment. In this particular case, they are not required to use any file. So I'll go ahead and save. Now, once the term is correct, anytime you add an assignment, this window should normally be open for the students to see. The reason it's kind of defaulting to the closed version is simply because the term is not yet correct. So if I were to pull up a course right here, this one. So if you go to the coursework, that's assignment 1. That's because it's the current term. Once the students come in, they get to see. So that's how you go about creating the upload assignment format. Now let's go back and do the quiz online format. Future. So you go back to coursework, still in Unit 1. Let me see, it should normally be active. Let me see. Oh, I didn't check open. Okay, I wanted to make sure that it's active. And why is it saying complete?
The time. Yeah.
It's due on the 17th. Today is the 8th.
Go back.
There must be some rules.
Yeah. Go back to.
Edit assignment.
Yeah.
It's due on the 17th. Show this on calendar now. Graded up. Maybe it's because normally it shouldn't.
On the open part, you have to fill that part out too. On the open.
It's open.
So you have to put a date.
No, it is if you want it to open on a later date. I selected now.
I have never been able to use the now. You always have to put that date in that second box. I mean, that's my problem. I always have to put the date there.
Oh, I use now.
Date is if you want it to be.
Yeah, I know what you're saying, but
I've
always had to put a date in there for it to work. So,
okay.
You know, I don't know.
Because in principle, it shouldn't show complete.
Shouldn't do it, but I had to always put a date.
And that's fine. Let's get.
Maybe not, it's not soon anymore, you know.
Maybe that's right. Okay, let's now do the online format. So you go back to add assignment.
Right.
Again, you're given the option to select a format. We'll go with online.
Yes, online.
Online is a bit more demanding because you have to input all of the questions one after another. So you'll give it a name. Again, just as with the uploadable version, there's the name, the unit, the type, the due date, upload. So go ahead and do quiz 1. It's still under unit 1. Now, one thing which I didn't mention about the type, you could decide to create different types. Assignments, quizzes, tests, midterm exam, final exam, and have the assessments arranged according to those types. So right here, instead of having just exam, we could create a new type and I'll label it quizzes. So all of my quizzes will be under this level. Let me just create another. What is it doing? Oh, assignments. So I'm going to have my quiz 1 under the quizzes type. Oh, due date again will be say what the future date. Let's go with 17. Make it 11:50. I'll leave it at 55. Again, if you want to go to accept late submission, to check on that and then include the penalty for late submission if you choose to. Now, unlike the assignments where you could actually go in within this window and input your questions, with the online format, you have to use a feature known as the test builder to create your questions. So what you do is you select the online options, test review. If you want the students to be able to review the test after they've completed it, you check the date, select the options, the time limit, 20 minutes, 50 minutes, 60 minutes. You put the time limit, let me do 20 minutes. Pagination, do you want one section per page or you want multiple sections per page? So if you have say 2 sections, true false section and multiple choice section, do you want to put sections on one page or do you want a section in each page? And then there's shuffle. Do you want to create a random order for each student or you want it to just be the same order for all of the students? Then there is the lockout feature. You can check this if you want to lock students out if they leave the test screen. So if a student is taking the quiz or test on your computer and they decide to move to another window, then they get locked out. They cannot get into the test again. The system will automatically submit the test once the time runs out. Now, if you want to allow give students the possibility to earn above the required score, in the example they give me is that if the quiz or test is over 100, I want to give the students to be able to have better than the perfect score. You know what's above 100. You check that option. Now, if you want to use a password as a way of increasing the authenticity of the test or the validity of the test taker, you can use a password. It should require that students should type in the password before taking the test. Now, this is usually useful if you require for students to come and take the test in a lab, and you don't want the students who is somewhere out there to log onto your computer and take the test. It is true you can always detect that if you can prevent it. This is where you prevent it. So you put in a password, only give the password to the students who are in the lab. Okay. Of course, there's still a downside to that. The students are very smart. The student can turn around and text the password to the classmate who's not in class.
Oh, yeah.
So how do you go about circumventing that? How do you take care of such a scenario? You change the password. So what you do is once you give, so you set a password, you come to the lab, you give the password to the students. Once they log in and they start taking the test, you go in and change the password. It will not affect those who are testing because they're already in. Now, if any student were to text the password to any of their classmates, it will be a wrong password. They won't be able to get it. That's another.
At what point do you change that password?
Sorry?
At what point do you change that password?
Once you give them the password and they've logged in and started, you go in and change.
Now, do you put another password in there?
Yeah, another password. If you leave it blank, then it's over. You put in another password. Then there's another feature you can use to kind of minimize cheating is the eRacer locked browser. What it does is it prevents the students from going to any website or using any other feature on the computer. So it locks the entire system. All they can do is take the quiz, and it will not let the student do anything else on the computer.
So if we just have a smart board and the kids they don't have a computer in front of them, do they just mark their answers on a piece of paper?
Smart board.
I mean, how if you have access to a computer, they're taking it online, but we would have to give the test in a computer room, correct?
Yeah, well, you can give the test in a computer room and have them take it at one location. The challenge with the students have to take it out of the lab or out of the classroom setting is that you are not there to ensure that you don't cheat. So that's why you're having to use, say, the eRacer lock browser. But the challenge with the lock browser is the whole matter of installing it. The students may not know how to install it, and so it may be more of a challenge. So you can have the students come with their laptops or desktop to the campus and have the IT department assist them with installing the lock browser. Then that should work out. Okay. So it's not that straightforward. I'll demonstrate. Very soon I'm going to demonstrate how the lock browser works.
Can they do it on their phones?
No, not on their phones. Just PCs and Macs. Okay. So if you check lock browser retakes, you may decide that you want students to have more than one attempt or two attempts. It's up to you. This is where you do it. So if you want students to go to retake the test, you do it here. One time after their first attempt, so that implies 2 attempts. Retake waiting period. Do you want the students to wait for some time after the first attempt, or can they just go in and retake the test immediately? Again, you make that determination on that option. Showing progress, grade updates. Sometimes you may want students to see their progress in the test while they're testing. So you scored this out of this. Well, as far as I'm concerned, to me, it's more of a distraction. I'd rather see a grade at the end, but this is where you do it. Now, if a student is going to have more than one attempt, what grade are you going to consider? Will it be an average of all of the attempts, Will it be the highest score or the lowest score? This is where you make that determination. Okay. If you want average, of course, you leave it as A's. If you want the highest score, if you want the last grade, we'll see. Sometimes students want to come and we take a test because they are hoping that they will make a higher score. You may decide that you want the last grade, not the highest score. That if they're coming to take the test, they know that whatever be the outcome of the second attempt, that's going to be their grade. But if you rather than rather than the highest grade should be the score recorded, then of course you select highest score. I usually leave it as highest grade because no, let me do this 0 and then just leave it there. So once you hit on save, you'll be taken to the test builder window, and then you'll be prompted to create your questions. So I'm going to click on save. What's missing? Oh, I didn't put. Let's do 22. I don't want to give it any penalty. So once we get in here, where's my test builder? Add question. So once you get to the test builder, you have the option of adding a question label. You can do the question numbering, like question 1, question 2. If you don't do it, the system will still number it for you, but I usually put the level. So I have my question 1 there. Question 1. And then, of course, you type the question. We're going to create a test of about 5 or 10 questions, true, false, multiple choice. Where is it? Is it this one?
Can you upload a test you already have on paper?
No.
Or you have to type it?
You have to type it.
Okay.
So this is a test bank from a publisher. So I'm just going to pick questions randomly. So what we'll do is, this is true, false. You copy the question, go to the test window, paste. This, of course, is true, false. You put in your point value, 2 points, 1 point, go 2 points. Then, of course, the answer type. By default, it's always multiple choice. But since it's a true, false question, I'll select the true, false. And then I'll state if the right answer is true or false. Technology is okay. So I'll leave that as true. And then, of course, save and add another. Pull up the second question.
And
yeah, this is a bit, as I said, it's somewhat tedious, but once you've done it, that's it. You simply come in and make some changes and modifications. So usually what I do is, if I have a quiz or test of say 20 or 25 questions, I'll be a bit at a time. The one I could do 5 questions, I have to do 5. Because if you decide to do everything in one go, you may feel defeated. So I'll copy that. Copy question 2.
With a computer,
Paste.
you can be able to shuffle. Yeah.
Yes.
On this way, right?
Yeah. So true, false. Save and add another. So you want to do that for what? Let me just go up to 5 questions. No, you cannot. I can't use a question like this because it's referencing the figure. because I'm not able to input the figure. So I'll go skip to the next. This right here. That's question 3. Paste, point value, true, false. Okay. Let me do one with multiple choice. So that is a computer that can perform. So this is multiple choice, and that will be question 4. Paste, multiple choice by default. Then you come in and put in the options: personal computer, modem, laptop, tablet. So it's personal computer, laptop, modem. Or what was the last option? Tablet. Check the right answer. Now, if you have more than 4 options, you simply click on add more items right here. It gives you the ability to add more, but I have just 4, so I'm going to take this down. You may also want to use standard options such as all of the above or none of the above. Now, sometimes you may be dealing with questions which require for students to actually type the text. So you go with essay or matching. Those are different types also, different answer types. Then there's ordering, the short answer. But for now, let's stick to true, false, multiple choice. Save and return to test builder. I don't want to do number 4. Back to test builder. Okay. So right now I have 4 questions, total 8 points. You have to click, if you want the students to go to see the quiz right away, you click on activate now. If you want it to be visible at a later time. Once you select the date and the time, the date when the students can access the test, it will be automatically activated. Okay. I'll go ahead and activate it now. Okay. So once you've created the assignments, the quizzes,
Where's the test?
no, well, test and quiz is similar. So if you want,
I mean, can you, when you activated it, where do they see it?
oh, where do they see it? Okay. Now you can always see right here where it says current view,
Right.
faculty. Every now and then, what you want to do is have a view of what the students see when they're in the course portal. So you change this to student view or view as student. Click on view as student and click on change. So this is what the students will see.
Go.
So if you want to do the assignment, simply click on this. If you want to do the quiz, click on this. So if a student tells you I'm having issues with the assignment, I cannot, one of the ways to kind of try to understand what they're going through is try to change the view to student view. You give a better understanding of what they're going through. And then you can also take the test in this window or do the assignment in this window if you prefer. So let's look at the assignment, for example. So if a student were to come in and complete assignment 1, what is going to happen is that it will click the assignment Type the answers to this question. My instructions state that if it should have displayed the instructions somewhere. I had added the instructions that they should type the questions or their responses on the Word document and upload that to this link. So once they come in here, go ahead and type the answers to these questions. They should come back here, click on upload a file, choose, and then of course select the file with which to type their responses and upload. And once they do that, you as a faculty should be able to access the file, download it, grade it, and post the grade. Back to regular view. Okay, what do we have here? Attendance, course information, creating assignments, adding content to online. Okay, let me just demonstrate a bit how the log browser functions. So let's go back here. I'm going to modify the quiz. What is it? Unit 1. Edit. Options. So it says require the eRacer log browser. So if a student has not yet installed a log browser, once they click on the test, they'll be prompted to install the log browser. But since I have been installed on my laptop, it's just going to prompt me to launch it. So I'm going to go ahead and save this and then change to student view. Then take the quiz. What's going on? It shouldn't be. Where's the log browser should pop up? Back to regular view. Options. Oh, this was not checked. Okay. Save. Go back to student. Okay. So right here, if a student decides to take the test, they'll be prompted to download the browser. You'll have to go through the download and installation process. But I think I installed this already, so I'll just go ahead and open. It looks like eRacer did not exit properly last time. Would you like to run? I should have said no, it's going to take a while now. Oh, I forgot this system I had to close. Yes. Okay, so we talked about the log browser, which is a feature which enhances the security of the online test. It's a customized browser, creates a log testing environment within eRacer, so students cannot go to any other site. With the log browser, students are unable to print or copy. They're unable to pull up any other website or use any other applications. And in order for that to happen, the browser must be installed on the student's computer. So as I was saying, you may need to request for assistance from the IT department if you're going to be using the log browser. So as we said a while ago, it creates a locked environment. Tests are displayed full screen and cannot be minimized. Task switching is prevented, so a student cannot go from one window to another. They cannot go to Google while they're testing, or to Bing or search or any other search engine. Printing functions are disabled. The student cannot print the questions to maybe give to their friends, lecturer, or print screen and capturing of functions are disabled. Cannot do a print screen. Copying and pasting anything to and from the test is prohibited.
But now they take their pictures on the phone.
That's why I said that they can still circumvent it. And for you to use it effectively, you have to use it as an additional feature while you're in class doing the proctoring yourself. Since you may not be able to see every student at the same time, so that this may just be as an additional feature during the testing, not a feature on its own.
I have to use the paper test.
Okay. So once you've set up the assignments, be it the file upload or online testing, the other part is managing the assignments, managing the students' work. So how do you go about doing that? So it's not just, you don't just create an assignment and then just wait for to the end of the semester or the end of the term. So there's the option of going in and managing, seeing students' progress, seeing those who've completed the assignments, how many have completed, and seeing if you need to reopen an assignment for a student. Sometimes in the course of a test or an assignment, there may be an issue, the computer goes off or there's no power or the internet goes down and the student is kicked out. You'll be required to go in and reopen the test or the quiz for the students. So that's where managing comes in. And also it gives you an idea of how many students are actively coming along with you, or how many students kind of wait until the due date. So let's take a look at how that process works. Back to the semester. To manage assignments, you want to go to the coursework and click on the link of the assignment. So let's so wanted to manage one of these quizzes. So we'll go to quiz 2. You want to look at the data or the information you have in front of you, specifically the grade, the completion status, and time spent. This is almost complete. Let me pull up something which is kind of in progress. If I can have one coursework. This is good. Let me do it. See, this is okay. So right here, this tells me when it says still open, it simply means one is not yet, the student has not yet completed or taken the quiz or test, and of course it's not yet the due date. This also tells me how much time a student may have spent taking the test. Now, if a student calls and say they were in the midst of taking a quiz or an online test and were kicked out, you can always go in and reopen the quiz or the test for the student. Or if the student calls and say, to the test, I'm not satisfied with my score, can I have another attempt? You can always go in and reopen the quiz or test for the student. So let's assume that I wanted to maybe reopen for this student. So what you do is you click on the student's name. Once you click on the student's name, you have a summary window. There's the option to grant a retake. Once you click on that, you have the possibility of setting a new due date and time for that particular student. And also the system will prompt you to decide on the grade to consider, either the highest or the average. I'm going to do it, but I can always cancel it. So if I were to do grant a retake, see right here, due date, and then the option of determining what grade to consider. But I'm not going to do that for this student. Then sometimes you also show a detailed history as to when the assignment was created. So this window here is very important. Sometimes you open an assignment for a student. They don't do it. And it closes because it's gotten to the due date. And they come, oh, you did not open the assignment. you can always come here and look at the detailed history of the assignment. It tells you when it was opened, and if I told the student studied it or not, and when it closed up. If this student, if say this assignment was closed yesterday and this student had not taken it, it would be obvious that the student did not make any attempt. So if there are any issues, you can always pull up the detailed history. And if you were to reopen the assignment, it will show on this detailed history as evidence of the fact that you reopened the assignment. So this is how to go about managing an online test office. Now, sometimes a student may be kicked out while they're in the process. So you can have them to pick up from where, you can get a student to pick up from where they start at the time there was an issue. So you simply come and you click on rework the assessment. So they'll pick up from where they start. Of course, you can add feedback if you need to, but mostly they will vary. So this is an instance, so this is an example of managing an online test. Let's look at how to manage the file upload format. Basically, it's similar. So let me pull up a file upload. Again, if you want to manage, you take, of course, if it's turned in, you'll see if there's no file here, if it says 0 file, it means the student did not submit the file. Okay, they didn't turn in anything. If the student has turned in a file and it's not been graded, here it will be complete but no grade. You see the word complete, you don't see any grade. Now, if a student uploads a file but does not turn in the assignment, you're going to see number of files 1, but you will not see the word complete here. So, because when it comes to uploading an assignment, when it comes to submitting a file upload assignment, there are 2 stages. The student uploads the file and then has to turn in the assignment. If they upload the file and do not click on turn in the assignment, it will show 1, but not complete. And because it's not complete, you're not able to grade it. You'll have to go back and turn in the file. So let's assume that you want to reopen this assignment for the student who did not turn it in. Simply click on the student's name and reopen the work. Choose a date and then click on reopen the work. Once you do that, the student will be able to gain access to the assignment and, of course, complete the work. The history is the same, just as with the online test. It tells you, see, like in this case, this student did not complete it. This assignment was opened on the 21st and automatically turned in on the 22nd. And it was automatically graded on the 22nd also. Now, this is 21st of August, and this is 22nd of September. So the student had over a month or so to do it, and they never got to do it. So the system automatically graded it, and that was the grade. So if I were to go in now, I just want to do something. Reopen, and I'll give today's what? Give a due date of 8 at 11:55. Reopen the work. When I come to detailed history, it shows that I reopened it. That is it there. So if by say tomorrow on if by this due date, the student has not completed the work, and they come and like, oh, and they try to accuse me for not have, and they say I did not, or they say you did not reopen the work, you can always pull up the history. It will show what happened in the student's account. This was reopened. I need to go back and change this, close the assignment. So that's managing assignments, students' progress, and being able to reopen. Now, another thing which a couple of students do is, instead of maybe sending you emails about their concerns, they'll come and put that in the comment section within the assignment. When the student puts a comment, see right here, add a comment. of course, you also don't receive an email about that comment. The only way you get to know that there is a comment is if you come within the assignment in the coursework. I want to pick an example here where there was a comment. Let me see if there's any. Okay, right here. Well, this is just telling me that there was one. There's one which needs to be created. It's not a comment per se. Yeah. But if a student places a comment within the coursework or within the assignment, you'll get a flag somewhere. You'll get a flag in here. I don't have any example. And that's the only way you can tell that there's a comment, and then you go in and respond. But if you're having students do assignments within eRacer, encourage them to email you their concerns or comments, not to put them in there, because if a student posts a comment that you don't get to the coursework until the following day, you may not be able to respond to it in a timely manner. Whereas if they send you an email, you get it on the same day, if not a couple of hours afterwards. Okay, let's see. Okay. Another aspect of the coursework is the analytics, viewing statistics about online tests. When it comes to assessing student learning outcomes, usually we tie the learning outcomes to quizzes or tests or assignments. That's how we get to evaluate the learning outcomes. And you, of course, can do that manually by going through the student scores and seeing how many met the learning outcome based on, of course, on the questions we're using to assess the learning outcome. Now, if the questions you're using to assess a specific learning outcome are within the online test or online quiz, you can pull up your statistics from eRacer. You don't need to do any manual calculations. And so that's where this comes in. So the test analysis provide data on all graded online assignments. So it's got to be computer-based, not what you grade manually. It provides a snapshot of students' performance on the assignment. It also gives us a summary of the relative difficulty of the assignment and each of its questions. Provides you with information about the discrimination index as to how difficult a question was, and then also it can also provide with information about the distractor performance in multiple choice questions. So let's take a look at that. So if we were to look at this quiz, for example, take a look at the analytics. So once you get within the quiz page, there's view test analysis. You click on that. There's the summary information, total number of students who took the test, average time spent on the test, the time spent, the shortest time spent by that's the fastest, the slowest time, average score, median score, the mode, the highest score, and then the low score. Okay, so this is a summary of the test analysis. And then there's the charts, 3 different types of charts. The first chart is a bar chart of the letter grade distribution. This is F, D, C, B, and A. So a glance at this tells you what the most students, many or more students got an A, and then of course 1 student each for F and D, and then 2. And then there's the question difficulty distribution. The difficulty distribution is rated between 0 and 1. The higher the distribution, the more difficult the question was. It goes from 0 to 0.2, 0.2 to 0.4, 0.4 to 0.6, 0.6 to 0.8, 0.8 to 1. there are 6 questions, which are a lot more, well, rather. So as I said a while ago, the higher the difficulty index, the more difficult the question was. And then there is the average score by performance group. Usually in a class setting, you almost always have 3 categories or 3 groups of students. Those who are doing well, those who are not doing so well, and then there's a group in between. So you could decide to have some analysis based on the 3 performance groups. By default, eRacer kind of places 25% of the students in the top performance group, 25 in the bottom, and 50 in the middle. But you can always modify that. You can change that depending on what on the type of analysis you want to do. And then there is the grid view, which gives you the question, the level of difficulty, the discrimination index, and then of course the average score for each of the questions. If you see something like this, it simply tells you that the difficulty level was very low. In other words, it's not a very difficult question. It's right here. And then there is now the analysis by question. How many students responded to a particular question? How many passed the question? How many failed? I use this when it comes to the student learning outcomes. So if I was using a specific question or a number of questions to assess a learning outcome, this is where I come and get my data. I don't have to sit down and do any calculation. Like I think it was last semester, Dr. Johnson sent an email of the document for us to fill out about the student learning outcomes. I just came and pulled this up and got the questions which I was using to assess specific learning outcomes and got the data from me. I didn't have to sit down and do a lot of calculation. So this is where it kind of pays off to do the work of setting up your coursework and the online tests and online quizzes. Once you do that, when it comes to time to collect some data or do any analysis, you simply come and pull up your data and fill out the paperwork or whatever it is that is required of you. If you want a bit more information about the analysis basics, you can click here and read about that. Performance groups, 25% will be the top, 50 the middle, low 25, and then the lower group, the 25%. Difficulty rating from 0 to 1, discrimination index -1 to 1. This is kind of discriminates between the students who are not doing so well and those who are doing well. Again, it's a way of you finding out if some questions are too difficult for a specific group of students, and you know how to go about either modifying or taking care of questions. Yes.
So I get into this through coursework and the online text format of that.
This is the analysis. For you to get to this, you ought to have created an online test and have it graded first. Okay. Yeah, yes, you go through that to create an online test. Yes. Then once it's graded, then you have the analysis. Actually, for you to have the analysis, there should be at least 3 students who have taken the test. For that to be any significant, 3 for you to have it, because for any analysis, you need to have a significant number of data points. So for eRacer, minimum is 3 students. So if you set up an online test and only 2 students complete a test, you will not get this analysis. It should be at least 3 students.
But it appears that the analysis also includes students who didn't show up to take the test.
Yes. Let me see. This is safety languages. Exactly.
For online.
People didn't show up.
Yes. The overall gives you that. If you go to the questions, you click question after question.
Okay.
Yeah, you did here. If you click, where are you?
I mean, grade.
Okay. Now, you're in group book. No, you should be in coursework. Coursework. Okay, pull up the quiz. If it's a quiz online. Yeah. This is not online quiz, so you will not see this detailed analysis.
Oh, okay, so I've got to go into the test and click the questions.
Yes.
Okay.
For online quizzes, for online yes only.
Okay.
That's where you get to see this detailed analysis.
Oh, I see.
Okay.
what you're
Yeah,
saying.
but if it's file uploaded, that's what you get to see.
Okay.
Perfect, thank you. And it says the default time middle low. Could I have 4 categories there by chance? Could I make my own?
But
Like you have default high, middle, low. Could I make 4? Like,
what I know is you can modify the percentages. I don't know if you can have 4 groups.
okay.
Yeah,
all
I
right.
know that you can
So
modify
I
the
have a
percentages.
Have a thing in mind. That'd be great.
But you can. I've not tried creating a 4th
All right.
group.
All right.
I know you can modify the
But that says
percent.
default, that means.
Yeah, it's default.
Maybe,
Default has
I
to
think
be
I
the
could do something different if I wanted.
default sizes.
Yeah.
It says default sizes.
Uh-huh.
That's this 25, 50,
Yeah.
25. That's what it's
Yeah.
referring to. You can modify it. So if you want to modify, you just go to performance groups right here, edit group size.
Okay.
This is simply the percentages. It will not let you add a new group. You can change this from 25 to see this. It will not let you change the performance group.
Okay.
Yeah, it's just 3 groups.
Okay.
Uh,
Too bad. Yeah, I have this little thing in my mind. I wanted to have 4 groups. Okay. I'm just pushing the limit.
That's okay.
Now, can you cut and paste the test in there? Do you have to type every question?
You have to type one question after the other. Again, it's somewhat tedious, but once you've done it, it pays off.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
You couldn't copy and paste line by line?
Yeah, you copy and paste line by
Line by
line.
line, but not.
Yes, you can copy and paste line by line. Yes, you can. Yeah. And then the other thing, we'll be getting to that shortly. Once you've created a test quiz, you can always save it in the file cabinet. I'll be showing you guys soon, and use it some other time, maybe in another course or during another term. You can just download it and either modify it or create a new quiz or test out of that. But we'll be getting to that shortly.
Copy, and paste. Does it have to be in Word or can be PDF?
If you can copy from PDF, that's fine. If you're able to copy from PDF, that's fine.
Okay, PDF is have to be the complete same.
So some PDF files will let you copy some of the content. Yeah. So the structured performance, this is mainly for multiple choice questions. Sometimes with the multiple choice questions, you put answers which are close to the right answers, but not, those are usually used to kind of, for distraction purposes. So you want to see how those questions which were intended to distract the student are doing. So that's what this is for. Okay. And then if you want to see how each student did for a specific question, right here. So this is question 1, and this is the performance for all of the students for question 1.
That's awesome.
Let me see, what do we have next? So we've talked about discrimination index, distractor performance. Okay. The next part is that of gradebook configuration.
So if you've got a test question where everybody misses it, you throw that question out?
Yeah.
You have to do an evaluation. Why did they miss it? You have to go back and find out why did everybody fail that particular question? Did I miss something during the lesson, or did the student, what happened?
Do you ask the students?
Yeah, I do. I do ask. Sometimes I tell them, let's have a family reunion. What happened? What was the performance? This though, what did I do wrong? Sometimes I do a picture with them. Sometimes I ask, what do you guys think I should do? One of the sessions, the student was like, I should bring candies to class and give. I said, no, not in college. Yeah. But sometimes you think you've done the best you could, you think you've done all you should, and then things turn out otherwise. I'm not saying that you should blame yourself. You're giving the students the benefit of that. Could be that something went wrong between you disseminating the lesson and the students receiving it. It's not that you didn't do your job, you did it, but in between the students receiving what you were trying to transmit or communicate to them, something they have faulted. You try to find out what you want so that you shouldn't find yourself in the same situation with the next set of students coming your way. Yeah. Okay. The other thing we have to be very diligent about is that of setting up the grade book, because this is where a student gets to kind of see where they stand in your class. It should reflect, in principle, the grade book should reflect the students standing in your class at any point in time. And if it's not properly set up, either the student will be getting a wrong grade or a wrong signal, and then when you end up correcting it, the grade drops, and they're like, oh no, yesterday I had an A, now when I went in today it's a B or C, what happened? No matter how much you try to explain, they always put the blame on you. So when it comes to setting up your grade book, you want to go from what you stated in your syllabus, because the course was designed or created based on what you have in the syllabus. Now, there are mainly two formats of setting up your grade book. There's the point format, and then there's the weighted format. The easiest is the point format. In other words, your grading is simply based on points. If it's 1,000 points, the student makes 900 points, they get an A. You know, if it's point format, you really don't need to bother that much. Once you create your assignments and coursework, and include, if you decide to use the attendance as part of the grade, you include that in. As you're posting the grades within coursework, they are rolling over to the grade book. But if you do the weighted method, which is the percentage, you're going to have to go in and manually input the weights in grade book. Okay. So if, again, as I said a while ago, you have to go by what is stated on your syllabus. That's because the syllabus is like a contract between the students and us. You can't just turn around and change things at will or at random. So in this particular case, I'm going by the weighted method. As I said, I'll do both methods. Okay. So I will. I don't have an example with the point method here because all of my classes are weighted. But point method, as I said, is very simple. If you're doing the point method, whatever you have in the coursework as a grade simply rolls over to the grade book. The only addition which you may have to do is, so this is grade book right here. One of the things you always want to check in your grade book is the letter grade ranges to make sure that they are what the catalog states they should be. 0 to 59 F, and then D will be 60 to 69, C 70 to 79. You want to make sure that this is correct. And if it's not correct, you can always modify it by clicking on change grade scale. So there's the GIGS default grade scale, which is what we have right now. You can modify it if you were not so. So I'll leave it as is. I'll actually just cancel. So I'm doing weight the percentages, which is weighting or weight method. You want to make sure that what you have in here reflects what is stated on the syllabus. So if you look at my syllabus, I have discussions 5%, quizzes 10%. Let me put this side by side if I can. So if you see discussions is 5%, we have 5% there. We want to make sure that it matches. Quizzes, what comes? Final exam, 25. Homework, what I call homework is that's 15%. Midterm is 25. Quizzes, 10. And test, 20. The challenge with demonstrating this is if I were to modify it, it's going to impact the students' grades. And then if I go and create it in a blank course share, it will not, you won't see anything because there are no grades and there are no students. But let's pull up a blank course.
So you don't factor attendance into your grade?
No, I don't. Not here. Not here. So let's try to. By the way, how many of us here use the point? How many of us here use the point format? What point? Your final grade is based on.
How many points should?
Yeah.
That's what I use.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's the easiest. It's straightforward.
Yeah.
It's straightforward. So whatever you put in the coursework, we also have to the grade book. And then, of course, you want to factor the attendance into the grade. You simply want to make sure that you check attendance in here. What is it? Evaluations. So right here, you want to make sure if you're going to be including attendance in the final grade, you want to check it here and maybe modify the score if you need to. But I don't have attendance in my grade. So now how many of us here use percentages? Okay. Do you have difficulty setting that up in gradebook?
No, Yao showed me how, it's fine.
Okay. As I said, the challenge, the challenge with doing it in a blank course here is that you're not able to see any grade since there's no student in it.
Question. I don't know if now is the time or not. But I want to know how to save assignments into the file cabinet. Okay.
Okay. I'll just go ahead and demonstrate how to create the weighted method, just for the sake of those who may be watching this later on, who are not there, who may be watching it. So if we pull up a new course shell, future. So if I were to pull this up, let me see coursework. Okay. So what you want to do is go to gradebook, final grade weighting. You want to currently the method they have is the point method. Okay, so you have to change it to the weighting method. What would they have by default is the point method. So you have to change it. You see, change weight method, and then I'll select I'll select custom method, now configure. No, not custom. Let me go by unit. Okay, this is what I was looking for, yeah. So now you put on, it will automatically pick the types you created in the coursework. So you put the weight, the percent, the weight for the exam quizzes. It's easier for you to do this once you have it set up already in your syllabus. You simply kind of mirror this. But again, as I said a while ago, the point method is the default, and for some people, it's a lot more easier. Okay. What do we have next? Okay, reviewing and adjusting grades. I'll go to this right here, pull something which is current. You can adjust grades in the coursework as well as in the gradebook itself. You can add bonus points in the coursework as well as in the gradebook itself. So let's look at how to adjust grades from within the coursework. Let's go with quiz 1. If you go to more, you can give a class-wide bonus. So you want to give a bonus, you want to give bonus points to the entire class. So within the quiz, online quiz or test, click more, click give a class-wide bonus. You put the points down, then hit on save. Now, if you want to add a bonus to individual students based on maybe some extra performance or some extra work, I don't know. You click the student's name. I'm just taking that. Did the student do anything? You can change the grade if you want, but there should be an option to add the bonus. Huh? If you give an assignment as an extra credit, yes, you can do that also. But this here we're looking at how to adjust the grades. Yeah. So you can change this grade if you prefer partial, put in the score. So that's for the online quiz. Let's look at the file upload, assignment. Again, if you go to more, you can give a class-wide bonus. Or if you prefer let me take a student who has submitted something. Maybe I have 20, let me see right here. Yeah, you can always modify or change the grade. So that's how we'll go about adjusting or modifying the grade from within coursework. Now you can also modify or change the grade from within gradebook. It doesn't show me that option here. I know there's a feature to. There's a feature to add a class-wide bonus from within the gradebook. Let me just draw you guys' attention to the fact that if you're doing the weighted method and there's one of the types which is not included in your weighting, you see it here. It says items with missing weights. This right here is what I'm using to assess the students because I do not want it to impact their grades. I do not factor it into the final grade. So even though it's saying it's missing, it's not an issue process, just letting me know that this is not included in the final weight. And the rule, as I said, it's I'm using it for assessment, and I don't want it to affect their final grade. This is for my personal evaluation. So if you see this, it doesn't mean that there's something where it's simply because you decided not to include that in the final grade weighting. Okay. Submitting grades to the eRacer system. There's normally a feature which would allow you to submit grades from here into the system, but according to the practice here, grades are submitted to the registrar's office instead. So we cannot demonstrate that feature here. Okay. The file cabinet. So this is a feature which comes in very handy. It makes work or life a bit more, a lot more easier for you or for us once we've done all of the work behind the scenes. So when you create an assignment, a quiz, a test, you can always save that in your file cabinet to use it, say, in another section or in another course. Okay? So we're going to look at how to save assignments in the file cabinet, how to import assignments from the file cabinet, and also how to copy course content or course material from another course into a new course. So let's go back to the future course we're using this morning. Future. I know we created a quiz. So you go to coursework. Quiz 1. So let's assume that you'll be using this quiz, say, in another section or in another class or next semester. What you want to do is save it somewhere, just in case you're unable to get to this window.
Okay.
So,
Sorry,
yeah, let's get back.
I'm not.
So
Okay, I clicked on coursework.
I clicked on coursework, and I selected, so you select any quiz or assignment, it doesn't matter. So just click on the link. I click on quiz 1. So for you, it could be assignment 1. Just any assignment will do. So,
Okay, can I add an assignment because I want to save it in the file cabinet?
yes.
Okay.
So I want to demonstrate how to save it in the file cabinet. So once I click on the link for the assignment or the quiz, there is this more option where it says more. And then to the left of the window which pops up, it says save to your file cabinet. Now, because you're going to be saving many quizzes and many assignments within the file cabinet, you want to give names which are descriptive of the specific quiz or assignment. Because if you just say quiz 1 for this course, any other course which is listed under you, and for which you also have another quiz 1, when you say that other quiz 1 to the file cabinet, you'll be having 2 quiz 1s and you may get confused. So what I do is I label my quizzes in such a way that if I happen to save multiple quizzes in the file cabinet, I'm able to distinguish which is which. So I'm going to modify the label for this quiz. So I'm going to go to edit. I'll name it, I could say quiz 1, spring 2020. Okay? That's because I have other quiz 1s within my file cabinet. And then I'll save. Now I'll go back and then save it in the file cabinet. So you go to more, save to file cabinet. See, the message says the assignment quiz 1 has been saved in the file cabinet.
Okay.
Now,
Where is my file cabinet?
We're going to pull it shortly.
Okay.
It's there.
It's there somewhere.
You can only upload and retrieve from it. You
Yes.
cannot go in to see it per se.
Okay.
Yes, yes. So let's assume that now we want to create quiz 2. I want to use some of the questions in quiz 1, maybe because students didn't do well in quiz 1, or students did, based on our test analysis, students did not perform well on some of the questions in quiz 1. We don't want to give the entire quiz 1 out again. We just want to use some of the questions in quiz 1 to build up quiz 2. So we'll go ahead and create a new quiz and import the questions from the file cabinet into the new quiz. Does that make sense? So I'm in coursework. I'll go to Unit 2. I want to create a second quiz, just as we did before. Add an assignment. online test. I'll give you the name quiz 2. You want to make sure that it's under unit 2, and the tab is quizzes. You want to put in place the due date. Let's select 22nd. Students to be able to see it. Why is it? What's going on here? Why is this grade? You must build it. Oh yeah, that's true. It's graded. So and then of course I put in my online options. Test review, time limit, 20 minutes. Lock students out if you want to, shuffle if you want to, require that the students use the lockdown browser. Once you save, you'll be moved to the test builder. So right here, I can add a question, or I can import questions from file cabinet. So I'm going to click on import questions from file cabinet. As you can see, I've been saving a whole lot. And so that's this way, if I have not been using specific names, I'll get into problems. So I'm going to, since I'm looking for the quiz we saved a couple of minutes ago, I'll be looking for quiz 1, spring 2020. This is it right here. So click on the quiz which you intend to import. And then you can click on section of questions if it really doesn't. If there are 2 sections, then you go by the section you want. But in this case, I have just 1 section. So regardless of whether I choose section of quizzes, it really doesn't matter. Then I'll click on the quiz and then click on import. It says 1 section has been imported. Click OK. And then go back to the test builder. So these are the questions which are within the test 2 that I'm creating. And then I can go in and modify or use the questions as they are. So this kind of saves you time, especially if you're going to, sometimes at the end of the semester or mid-semester, instead of maybe creating an entire test or quiz, you may just want to use all of the quizzes prior to that and create a pool test. So you just kind of import. So let's assume that I wanted to create a pool test out of many quizzes. I'll go ahead and import other quizzes. Import. I'm just going to do this at random.
Do you have to create each question individually?
In the online quizzes, yes. Type or copy and paste, whichever works for you. So let me get another quiz. We'll go up 1 level. Let's take this one right here. Import. It's done. So this is all of what we imported from the file cabinet. In order to go to create a pool test, I'm going to move all of these questions 1, 2, 3 to just 1 section or 1 window. Since we have this already, I'm going to move everything up here. So what you do is you go to manage, check this window to select all of the questions. Make sure the move option is selected here, and that is pointing to quizzes, which is this one. Submit, and all of the questions have been moved up, and then you delete this one. Same for the next set of questions. Manage questions, select all questions, move to quizzes, submit, it's gone. Delete that. Manage questions, submit. So now all of my questions are in here. A while ago, in the morning when we're creating the online test of quizzes, I said, even though the system prompts you to input a question label, you're really not obliged to. In other words, if you don't put in the number 1, 2, 3, 4, it's not an issue. The system will automatically do that for you. Like here, say, because some of it had same numbers, because we imported questions from multiple quizzes. So in one quiz, you had 1, 2, 3, 4, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, in another quiz. So when it takes 1, 2, 3, 4 in the first, and the next quiz comes with the same numbering, it's not going to post it. It will simply post the questions. Now, when it's being displayed to students, they don't see this. They see the perfect numbering, 1 to 20, 1 to 10, just as you have it. And so I can now go in here and modify my quick test. Edit. I can do regular. All questions in the section are given to every student. I can do pool. A random selection from the pool of questions is given to each student. I can do random. So I can do regular. And then question order is random. So questions are shuffled into random order for each student. So question 1 for student A may not be question 1 for, may not be question 1 for student B. And then of course I'll set up the time limit. So this is where you can come and either do the pooled or the random. Pooled here again, a random selection from a pool of questions. So you can have, say, 100 questions in the quiz, but you're only evaluating students on 50 questions out of the 100. That's pool. But if you want students to see all of the questions, you do random. A different question is presented to different students. And then, of course, once you have your options checked or selected, you hit on save, and the quiz is ready. So I just kind of created, say, a test or an exam or a midterm exam from questions I already saved in my file cabinet. I didn't have to type the questions from scratch. Okay. So we've talked about saving assignments. Okay, now this is what I demonstrated is for online tests. You can also do the same for file upload assignments. Same scenario. You save in a file cabinet. So let's do that. Let's pull up an assignment. We're gonna have to go to coursework. So if we pull out assignment 1, you go to more, save to file cabinet. It's saved in the file cabinet. Now, if I were to be teaching this same course or a different section of this course, while I'm creating, since it's a different section of the same course, I'll be giving the same assignment. So instead of creating an entirely new assignment 1, I'll simply import it from the file cabinet into my coursework. Same scenario. So you start by creating an assignment, go back to coursework, unit 2, add an assignment. You want to go with file upload since that's what and it could be what assignment 2 or assignment 1 in a different section. Input your due date. November 22nd. I want it open now. Points 25. Oh no. Hold on. Okay. So once for the file upload, this is where you import the question. It's not. This is where there's a slight difference between the file upload and the online. So for the file upload, you import the questions right within this window. See right here. So instead of me having to create the questions, I'll simply go ahead and import an existing assignment. Import, and I'm looking for assignment 1. This is it right here. So if I were to do this, these are the questions we typed for assignment 1 when we created it in the morning. Okay, so you can always save files. You can always save assignments or quizzes in the file cabinet, and then use those later on when needed. The last aspect of importing is that of copying course materials. And that's where the beauty of setting up all of your content in the course comes in. If you're teaching a course this semester, which you know for sure that you'll be teaching next semester, once you do the job now, next semester you'll just be doing some minor modifications or edits. So I have this course right here. 3330 section 3 is being taught this semester. It's been fairly developed. The content is there, the greeting page, the units, the handouts, the bookmarks, the coursework is there. Now, if I happen to be assigned the same course next semester, instead of having to go through all of this, I simply sit down and with the click of a mouse, I'll have all of this in the new course share. So how does that play out? What you want to do is pull up the, actually you don't need to pull up the new course. You don't need to. What you do is within this window, where it's on the left-hand side, look at Course Manager. Click on Course Manager. Okay? When you click on Course Manager, a new window pops up. Click on Course Export. Now, in the previous version, it wasn't like this. The one with the update, it was changed. Once you click on Course Export, look for Course Copy Feature. Once you click on Course Copy Feature, it takes you to the window you're used to. This right here. And then, of course, you select the term. Where do you want to copy from? In my case, it's this current term, 2019-2020. And then the course is section 3. And then where do you want to copy it to? I'm looking for, of course, the future course will not be here because it's not yet displayed. And that's because usually you get to see the future course at the earliest 21 days to the beginning of the new semester. So sometime around December, we should be able to do this successfully. But I'll go ahead and do it right here because I had taken off the content from this. Let me go back. I'm going to cancel this. So if we come in here, courses, see, this is fairly empty. There are no, is it this one? Did I copy the content? Okay, cool. See, there are no handout. There's just one handout because we uploaded this one this morning. This was done this morning. There's just one handout, one bookmark, and then this is not complete, okay? So what I'm going to do is I'm going to copy this section 3, which has all of this and the coursework into this right here, F29, because there's no student in the class, so I mean, it won't mess up anything. So again, you go to Course Manager. In the previous version of eRacer, copy course was just right here, but the new version has been moved. So go to Course Manager, then click on Course Export, and then click on Course Copy Feature, select term 2019-2024, and then we want to copy from section 3 into this guy right here, this course. Now, when it comes to you copying course content from one course to another, you can copy everything or you can select what you want to copy. Of course, the easiest is copying everything. But if you've already set up your coursework, you can decide, you can then select course content, so you don't mess up the coursework. In other words, if you already started building your course, instead of copying everything from a previous course and then messing up what you did already, you want to avoid that. But if your course shell is still blank, or if you want to erase whatever it is you have in the course shell, you can go ahead and do everything.
Is there a way to set up a course that's not created yet? Like, can we create a course?
We don't have that. We don't have that ability. The registrars of this has to create a course.
Okay.
That for us not to copy everything and make a mistake. What was that option?
You do select course content.
Selected content?
Yeah, selected content. You click on this. Once you click on this, it gives you the ability to select specific content.
At the beginning, when you haven't given grade and all that, it's easy. You can.
Yeah, at the beginning.
Once
Yeah.
you give grades.
Yeah. And then, of course, you have the option either merge or override. Merge is going to, of course, maintain what you have and then add. Override is going to delete whatever you have and then. So let's do everything. We're going from here to this. And then simply click on copy. Are you sure you want to copy? Of course, this will delete any existing content in those courses, okay? And the process will go through. So once you do all that work this semester, next semester, you simply click, use at the click of a mouse, you're set to go within the first week of school. All of the assignments will be there. All of the handouts, all of the video lessons, whatever it is that you did this semester will be there. And you simply go in and make any minor modifications. So we copied from here to here. So I'm finished copying my course material. And then you can go in and just verify to double check that things are the way you intended them to be. So this right here, it shows that it was copied from this section. So you can now go in and modify this to reflect this section. The handouts are there now. The bookmarks, the coursework, is. So I didn't have to sit down and create all of this again. We simply go in and modify the due dates. Okay, that brings something to my mind. So a while ago, when we created the online quizzes and the assignments, we kind of went through how to set up the due dates. So that's how you go about setting up due dates for individual assignments. You also have the ability of modifying due dates for a group of assignments. So if I want to modify the due dates for the assignments within this unit, simply come here and click Edit Due Dates. And you do it right here.
Classes that they're all the same and you want to do it.
Sorry?
I said for the classes that they are all the same, you can do this. You know, like after that, something like that.
Yes, yes.
But some classes, they say we have it in Monday, Wednesday, Friday, some we have on Tuesday, Thursday.
Yes.
So we can just do the Monday, Wednesday, Friday, different day, and for the Tuesday, Thursday, do different.
Yes, you can give different due dates. Yeah, since the students meet on different days and times.
Yeah.
So that's how you go about copying content from one course into another course. And then, of course, you want to make the necessary changes. You don't want students to come to this course and be seeing section 3. They are not in section 3, it's section, I think, 9 or so. I can't remember. Savings. Okay. The last thing I have is that of creating and uploading video lessons. But before we move to this, because it's really not part of eRacer, does anyone have any specific questions or concerns regarding eRacer?
That greeting, do you have it in a Word document?
Sorry?
The greetings. The one you have for the greetings.
Yeah, I can email it to you.
Yeah, I am really excited, but I've never used greetings before. I just holler at them. But I might use that greeting. Yeah, I like that greeting that how you put that together.
Yeah, I'll email
I've never
it.
used greeting.
I'll email it to you guys.
Yeah.
Let me see. I don't have everybody's email address. How do I get this? If I were to give that to Dr. Taylor.
Dr. Taylor,
She can send it to us.
Okay. And of course, mine is not the best. You can draw inspiration from mine and come up with something better.
Add to that.
Yeah. So sometimes you want to set up your content on the learning management system in such a way that if you were not to be able to make it to class, the students are still able to listen to you talk to them. And that's where the video lesson comes in. Of course, if it's an online class, then of course you have no other reason. I mean, you have no excuse not to do that. So that's where this comes in. When it comes to creating and uploading a video lesson, you want to, of course, prepare your lesson and rehearse it and practice. It's not like when you're teaching a class, you want to have it handy. And if possible, rehearse. You want to have all of your resources on your computer or laptop. Then also you want to use a video capture platform. There are many quote-unquote free video capture platforms out there. You also need a laptop with an inbuilt webcam or a desktop with a webcam, whichever, it really doesn't matter. So a laptop with a webcam or a desktop with an external webcam. You're also going to need all laptops nowadays come with inbuilt microphones. However, those microphones are not very efficient. They are not designed to filter the sound. So they're going to capture any noise in the room or around. So you want to get something, this is about, I think it's about $15 in Walmart. It comes with a headset and a mic, something like this. So it picks your sound right there while you're talking, while you're recording your lesson. It's USB. It's plug and play. Once you plug it on your laptop, it will pick up. It will be connected. Now the video capture platform which I use is Zoom. It's what I'm using right now to record this session. So you simply go to Zoom. Again, as I said, there are many platforms out there, but this is what I'm using. So what you want to, you go to zoom.com if you prefer to use this one, or if you can find any other that's. You create an account, sign up, it's free. For a free account, you get what? Unlimited time?
45 minutes.
Hold on.
Sorry.
45 minutes is if you have more than 2 users at the other end. If you are just by yourself on the platform, it's unlimited. I've been recording the session. All the entire morning session was recorded. That's because it's just like I'm the only person.
Okay.
But once you get another person connected into the platform, that's when you get to the 40 minutes.
Oh, good.
Okay. So if you're going to record a lesson, 1 hour, 2 hours, 3 hours, as long as you are alone on the conference, it's a video conference, you can go on for 2-3 hours non-stop. Now, once you invite a second or third party into the video conference, your time is limited to 40 minutes because it's the free version. Now, if you want to have multiple parties or individuals in a video conference for an extended period, that's when you start paying them some money. Okay? So once you create an account in Zoom, you're going to be required to download the Zoom application onto your device, laptop or desktop. And once you do that, every time you need to use it, you simply log in. So like when I came in this morning, I simply logged into Zoom and started a video conferencing meeting. And I decided to do screen share. By doing screen share, it's recording whatever is going on my screen and capturing the sound. I'm using this because it's a bit more efficient than the inbuilt microphone. So it will record it, and then you have, or at the end of the session, you're going to have the audio and the video. So you can post, if you decide to do a podcast, you can just post the audio. But of course, you want the students to actually see you explaining stuff, then you post the video.
Okay, can you back up and do that again? Because I can't really see what's going on up on the table. So what is it that allows you to capture both yourself and what's going on the screen?
Okay. What allows me to capture this is what is referred to as a video capture platform. And there are many platforms out there.
Right, that I understood.
And I'm using a free platform which is known as Zoom. And it's simply zoom.com. You go to zoom.com where it defaults to .us. It doesn't matter.
Okay, so my question is how is it capturing both you and what's on the screen? Is the camera on the...
No, the camera is on my laptop.
Okay, and that's capturing you.
I turned it off. So because I didn't want it to capture me, but it's capturing the screen, my computer, my laptop screen. So whatever is being displayed on my screen is being recorded.
Okay.
Now, if I wanted to be, of course, let me turn it on. If I want, let me minimize this. So if I want, oh, it's right there. If I want my image to be captured, I simply come here and turn on the video.
There he is.
Right.
Recording him now.
That's me.
Okay.
I took it off
and
because
that shows both the...
Yes.
Okay.
So the students can see you, and of course get to relate to you, so to speak. But I turned it off simply because again, I didn't want to.
Still see what's on the screen.
Yeah, they're still seeing. It's recording whatever you're seeing on the screen right now. It's recording it.
And what was it that you did that you punched to do that? Because
Yeah.
I'm so excited.
See the video.
Okay.
You can stop it or turn it. You can stop. If you stop it, you don't see me. I'm gone.
Stop or start.
Yeah.
Video.
And then
Fabulous.
How do you, when you go to that ribbon, you don't see the video, how do you go to it?
where? You mean right here?
It
Oh,
just
okay.
slides down.
The slides, yeah.
But if you're writing on a tablet,
I've not tablet. I've not used tablet before. I see what you're talking about.
so we have to just go to an electronic board and write on that. Since math, I can just talk out.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've not played with that. You may want to find out. There's got to be a way of capturing that.
We used to have a projector.
Overhead projector.
Yeah.
Yeah. That may be something you want to play with.
Is it such equipment so we can?
There should be.
Computer and put it on here.
Yes. Yes. For example, if you have a webcam which can be detached,
Then
you can just put
you put it there. It will capture it. So you may want to buy an external webcam and then plug it here and have it stand and point it to wherever you're writing.
Yeah, Zoom has other features too. I think you can
Yeah, that's
do some annotations on it.
But they took all the software away and put
Okay.
it on TV.
Okay, what did you just say? Because I can't.
I think Zoom, I'm not certain, but I think Zoom has an annotation feature to it that you could, like his math, he could just open up a blank PowerPoint and type or write on it, but I don't know all that part of Zoom either, but.
Yeah. If I want to use a PowerPoint that is posted on the web,
Yes.
how can that won't be like a plagiarism or whatever, or without permission or something? I can show that.
It depends on whoever posted it. What did they say? If they say it's in the free domain, in the public domain, it's not an issue. If it's under Creative Commons laws, it's not an issue. But if it is from a publisher, vendor, engage, and all of those, you want to be very careful about that.
Because sometimes those are said that you have to put your own voice and explain it.
Yes.
Otherwise, I can link it to it. But when you link it with it, they don't understand that. So if I be able to show that and my voice go with it to say that's what this happened.
Yeah. So in addition to preparing your video lesson and posting it up there, you also may be required to attend to a student. So what you do is you create a meeting, which of course is a video conferencing meeting, and email the link to the student. And then of course, when it's time for the meeting, they log into Zoom. And any participant can join with any device, smartphone, tablet, then you're on your computer. As long as they have access to the internet, you guys can interact on this platform.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
They had tried to train us on this with Dr. Jones, but then they found out we only had 2 or 3 computers that could be used.
Yeah, it kept kind of breaking down.
And it kept breaking down. So they said the school wasn't prepared for it, something. I don't know.
Yeah, because we don't have those kinds of web cameras.
Yes, sir.
So is there any way, not using separate platform like that, directly on the GIFs, like when you go in there, we see this little intro video. Can we do this for our
Not directly on GIFs.
No, we can.
You cannot. GIF does not have a video capture feature. It doesn't have that. Have you guys heard of Canvas?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, Canvas has a video capture feature. If you log into the Canvas learning management system, you can record a video as long as you have a webcam on your laptop. GIF doesn't have that feature. So what you do is once you create a video lesson like this, you post it onto YouTube. And then take the link from YouTube and dump it in GIFs.
So you post it on YouTube?
Yes.
After YouTube.
So like the video I have here, what I showed you guys in the morning. See this right here? This is a video I created using Zoom and posted it in this class. So when students come, they will click on this.
And it goes to YouTube.
It goes to YouTube.
Hello everyone, welcome to the computer literacy class. The purpose of this video is to ensure that you're able to navigate this course without any difficulty.
Okay, but there's a video that's embedded. I mean, we just saw it.
Where?
The video that's embedded on GIFs.
Yeah, that was one.
Okay, hold on. Let's go. Yes, it's. I took a video of the web portal because I wanted to demonstrate to the students how to log into. I started from where the students should be. So that's why you were saying that.
No, but in the past, Christy Howard showed up on a lot of them. Do you remember those days?
Yeah.
And they were embedded. I don't know how she did it, but there were these introductory videos on like all the different pages of the web portal.
Okay.
I want to know how they did that.
Well, no, you simply create a video, upload it to YouTube, get the link, and then paste it on.
But the video itself shows up.
Yeah.
As soon as you go to that page, there's the video, not a link.
Yes. When you click on the link, it pulls up the video.
No, it was there. It opens it immediately.
Maybe I don't. Hold on.
You're talking about in GIFs or on the website?
In GIFs.
Okay.
Well,
Now,
is there
this is
any
my
other
course.
things?
This is the course I'm teaching in jigs.
Right, I
This,
understand.
this right here is a video I created.
Before the update, as soon as you logged in, there's a video and it's telling you something. I don't remember now. And then if you clicked on faculty, there's a different video and it says something.
Yeah, those,
You know, but
apparently with
they
the,
never did tell us how to do that for our classes.
okay, I see what you're talking about. Yeah. Maybe with the updates, the videos were taken away.
They were, everything
Is there
was
an
here.
HTML editor or any sort in there?
Maybe.
Manipulate?
Somehow it was embedded, like in the.
Okay, it's still there. It's still there.
Yeah, that one.
Like that?
Yeah.
How did that get there? So
Yeah.
How does it get here? See, this is a YouTube
That
video.
was-
Right, but it
Well,
looks like
It's not linked, but it's right there. That's what we want to do.
Oh, I see what you mean.
Yeah, so that they see our picture
Yeah,
or whatever, and then there's the little forward play symbol, that's what I'm.
This one right
I'm
here.
sorry, it's been like this all day, I have no words. The little play symbol.
This one.
And then you punch play.
Okay.
And it does that. And I'm like, that's really cool. How do I embed my video so that it shows up rather than just being text?
Okay.
Sorry.
I understand. Now, so you have
figure that
to.
out and make a video for us.
Okay.
Figure that out and make a video for us.
Okay, I'll do that. I'll do
To be
that.
introduced at a later date.
Okay.
Okay, so that's what Dr. Lee and I thought this was good.
Yeah.
So that's why we just like, okay, cancel my class, I'm gonna be here.
Yeah, because music classes, we're required to show, demonstrate how to do it.
Okay.
Okay, first of all, let's begin.
Okay. Obviously, that's the little professional video they made, but.
But it's
There's gotta be a place where that could be.
He is looking at. Oh, TXC, the Texas Higher Education Coordinating Board as a consultant.
Okay. Any other concerns about eRacer or recording of video lessons?
I'm sorry, say again.
Any other concerns about eRacer or the recording of video lessons? Yes, sir.
You did email us some information. I wasn't here the first part. I went here this morning.
It's recorded, so today was Friday. It should be available at the latest Monday. From what Dr. Taylor told me, we posted on Jigs.
Okay. So you look at those videos. Okay.
Thank you so much. And now you know what we want to know how to do.
Yeah.
I already do all this other stuff.
Yeah, we're not doing
As I said when we started in the morning, when you sit down to build your content, you don't do it in one day. It's something you do gradually. And so once you start working at it, you don't give up until you have it fairly fully developed. And once it's completely done, every other semester you simply copy the content and make minor modifications. And so if at any point in time you need any additional assistance, that's my contact information, phone number, and of course, email address. If possible, we can always do Zoom conferencing. You get to see, or I get to see what you're having on your screen, or you get to see what I'm having on my screen. Please make sure you sign in
if you didn't, for those who came in late or came in this afternoon.
Do you teach at Wiley? Do you teach? What do you teach?
I teach at Wiley.
Biology.
Oh, okay, okay.
Computer science. Oh, so are we through?
Is that it?
If no more questions, concerns,
I have a few concepts.
thank you.